What are the key messages from cloud architecture training? My name is Vikas Kearney. I have more than 20 years of experience in IT industry. I am TOGAF certified architect. Do subscribe to my channel for your regular updates. Hello friends. Recently I went for cloud architecture training. It was being held in New York. It was being held by O'Reilly Publishing Center. The meeting was conducted by Matt Stimson. I'll post his name. The training was conducted by Matt Stimson. So the first key message was from the training is we need to embrace failure in cloud computing. In cloud computing, failure can happen if our service is taking too much memory, too much CPU. They're gonna just shut down. They change server all the times. So we have to architect for those scenarios. How we deal with those scenarios, we embrace failure. Second message was in the container market, Kubernetes is going to be the leader in the future. Third message was the microservices are cool. They are very good for cloud architecture. They are modular way of programming. You decompose a complex application into small applications where individual application can be upgraded, replaced, more fault tolerant, is very good for cloud computing. The fourth message was since cloud architecture makes adding a new server, new database, new queue very easy. Most of these services are automated, clickable. So you don't need huge DevOps in the future. You don't need a big bureaucracy if you need a new server, new database, new message. Now we will go into the design patterns or the good practices that we should follow in cloud computing. I will try to simplify the architecture diagrams, make it simple. What are the key architectural concerns that need to be addressed in cloud computing? First is modularity. Each application has to be modular. They should not updating one segment of application should not affect overall the system. So what we are saying is microservices are cool. We should follow microservices architecture. In microservices architecture, the complex application is decomposed into smaller applications which talk to each other through RESTful APIs. In this way, one version of application can be updated independently of other system. Second is observability. Since our application is could be running in cloud, multiple servers, and the cloud provider can shut down our service anytime, we need to observe how our services are doing, or what kind of service they are providing, how much resources they are using. So we need to observe. Next comes deployability. As I said, we should be able to deploy without bringing the whole system down. The client is not interested in downtime. Most of the services deployed on cloud required to be running on 24/7. Next is testability. Of course, we are deploying in the cloud. Our application should be testable. Next comes disposability. As I said, the cloud provider can shut down our service anytime. Like if service is using too many resources, too much CPU time, too much memory, they're gonna shut it down without giving us a notice. And next point is similar, replaceability.
again they keep moving the server. They can change our server, they can change the servers, they can remove service to another servers, so our service should be replaceable also. So we'll go into the more architecture patterns, design patterns, or the good practices for the cloud computing next. So the first is externalized configuration. In C# we have web.config inside the ASP.NET. If we make some changes to the web.config, whole application need to be shut down. So in cloud computing, our applications need to be up 24/7. This is not acceptable. We need to move configuration out of our web application. Second good pattern is externalized state. Since our service can be brought down anytime, there should be some way it can maintain state out of the application. Again, ASP.NET generally we maintain the cache inside our web application. So we need to move cache out of the web application so that if the web server comes down, still we have distributed cache and other servers can continue using that cache. That way user will have a seamless experience. He doesn't have to lose his information. Next pattern is concurrent execution. In concurrent execution, we deploy application without bringing down the application. Again, our user is not interested in maintenance hours, he is interested in the services of our application. In this pattern, we use container technology to deploy the new version of the application. If something goes wrong, we can point to the old container. This way, in case of failure, it makes versioning change very seamless. Next is brick telemetry. In brick telemetry is saying we need to know how our services are doing, what kind of metrics it's generating, what kind of performance it's giving. Next is service discovery. In the service discovery pattern, we should be able to find our service, where it is hosted. There should be some registry which is telling us our service, because the cloud provider can change the location. So we have to write in such a way the client of our service can find the service where it is hosted and use it seamlessly. Next is edge pattern. In edge pattern, decomposed architecture must always be recomposed. Here the BAFF design pattern comes. I have covered in another video. BAFF stands for backends for frontends. When we started coding for web tier, it was good. We have one web API, one API backend. So as we started adding more devices, mobile phones, iPad, so those devices have different screens, they need different kind of experience, less data elements. So the good design practice is to create a backend for each device. So mobile will has its own backend. I'll provide the link on the top. You can check out the backend for front end design pattern. Next is fault tolerance. As we know, the cloud provider that they can bring down our services, so we have to be ready for the fault tolerance. How we architect our application for fault tolerance? we need to put timeouts. If we are trying to use some service, we are trying to get Excel, we need to put some timeout so that it cannot run forever. We need to add retries. Okay, Excel download tried first time, maybe try 2 more times. We need to have circuit breakers where one component is down, it changes to another component, so that we can debug the offline component. Next is event driven system. In event driven system responds to events. Some event happens and system happens. For example, in banking, when you get a paycheck, each event happened, it get recorded and your accounts get updated. You buy something, a debit transaction happens, amount is removed from your bank account, it reacts to that event. I have posted another CQR which is based on event driven system. I'll post the link on the top. You can, if you want more information, you can check out that event driven system video for more details. Contract management. So contract management, if we are using some service, that service may be providing service to other clients also, it may be updating it contracts for other services. So we need to have a way of giving some kind of test to that service, so that as long as our tests continue, we are good. They can modify the interface for other services, but whatever the interfaces we are using, that should continue to work. Next pattern is integration telemetry. In this design pattern, we need to know what happened on the cloud computing. There are multiple services working. By themselves, they don't make sense. So we need to write some component which is picking up data from all these services, making some sense for us. So these were the main design patterns, architecture or integration patterns for the cloud computing.
Friends, today we reviewed what are the good design patterns or architecture patterns for designing our applications for cloud environment. My name is Vikas Kearney. I have more than 20 years of experience in IT industry. I am TOGAF certified architect. Do subscribe to my channel for your regular updates. Connect me on LinkedIn, especially if you like the summaries of the video. I will be posting the summaries of the video on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.